All right, you guys in capes and you rogues who are sneaky, I need you to do me a favor. This is Chris from Entertain the Geeky. I want you to go over to Cloud9 Comics and More. You can find them on eBay. Basically, what they do is they have a bunch of CGC graded 9.8s, 9 point whatevers. They've got all kinds of CGC graded comics. They've got all kinds of just loose issues floating around. So if you're looking to fill a spot in your collection or anything like that, they can help you out with that. They've got trades. They've got action figures, movies, whatever. I got a Buddy Christ from them recently. So, guys, Cloud9 Comics and More, they've got a little bit of everything. If you get in contact with them, you can holler at Paul. Paul's a good guy. He'll take good care of you.
Thank you for tuning in to Entertain the Geeky, your source for nerd news.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jason here with the news. I'd like to start out by saying I'm sorry we haven't gotten to you in a while. We're going to talk about all the things we missed, and we're going to talk about some new things that have come up since. I'm joined tonight by Chris and Roger.
Guys, what's going on?
What up, Chris?
Roger, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Jason? What's up?
We are so stoked to be doing nerd news with you right now.
Oh my god, it's like a blast from the past for me.
It is, right?
Right?
From the past.
Yeah, it's been like a month since we've done nerd news.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's
Chris,
been a minute.
well, Chris was with me at the
I've
beginning
sat in
now.
with you, but
Yeah.
I've tried to let you do your own thing.
Like, this is your show. We're just
Well, yeah.
along for the ride now.
Well, yeah, but it's good to have other people to talk to, and I feel like I'm just rambling on all by myself. You know?
So get into it, buddy.
Well,
What you
so yeah, we missed last week, so we're gonna start out. We'll talk about Comicon for a minute. Big thing out of Comicon is still obviously we're all excited about Avengers: Infinity War. I know I'm excited.
Like,
Hells yes.
like there's a place on the interwebs somewhere where you can find a supposed leaked trailer.
Yeah, you know we may or may not have
Seen it.
And it may or may not have been on YouTube.
And it may or may not have been one of the greatest trailers we have seen in a while.
I wouldn't go that far.
It was pretty cool.
It was fun.
The footage is big. I mean, it's
big footage.
yeah, and it's worth noting that the quality is not ever going to be good.
No, it's cell phone.
Yeah.
It's cell phone. So
It's a cell phone,
and it's
yeah.
not even an iPhone. It looked like it was taken off an old flip phone.
I know.
Oh,
That's what I
man.
was thinking.
But yeah, the quality's not good. But there's definitely some things that happen, you know, during the footage that are really cool to see on screen in motion for the first time, like Thanos showing up and
The freaking Iron Spider suit.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just seen the culmination of the past 15 years now.
No, it's almost 10.
2008.
Yeah.
2008.
So 10
was
years
when it started,
of
yeah.
Marvel movies finally coming to what they wanted to do, and I'm excited.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely they've kind of put all the pieces in place, and this is the big finale, and I mean everybody's going to be involved. That's something that we kind of got a final confirmation of through Comic-Con was like the lineup of Avengers that are going to be in the movie.
All right, I think afterwards, guys, we're gonna make an ETG bet because it's the first time all three of us have been together since Jason has joined. We're gonna make an ETG bet, Vegas odds, who lives, who dies, Avengers: Infinity War.
Okay.
Oh man. Oh man.
All right. Well, let's start out with the core group then, because that's how we're obviously gonna have Captain America, we're gonna have Thor, we're gonna have Iron Man, we're gonna have Hulk, we're gonna have newer people like Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Those don't count. It's Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye.
Okay, Captain America's for sure done.
Well, and Hulk,
I said Hulk.
Thor.
Chris cut me off before I
Okay.
could finish
Oh,
naming
okay.
it because I was
Gotcha.
gonna go Captain America, Hulk, Hawkeye, Thor, Black Widow, Nick Fury.
Sure.
Hawkeye hardly has a place here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why does everybody always give Hawkeye so much shit? I love Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner is great. He nails who that character should be.
I'm not bashing Jeremy Renner. I'm saying you're fighting Thanos, the guy that shoots arrows.
Well, but see, that's the thing. Joss Whedon already made that joke. He made that joke in Avengers: Age of Ultron when they were fighting the big army of Ultron robots, and he was like, "Hey, I'm a guy with a bow and arrow. We're fighting some giant robots. This doesn't make any sense, but it's my job, and we got to do it."
and that's Hawkeye.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's just Hawkeye.
That's a
So-
fair
so-
point.
He knows it doesn't make sense.
So we'll start. Well, I'm not the host of the show. This is very weird for me.
Let's start with Captain America, right?
He's
So
gone.
Captain America's gone in Chris's mind.
I think Captain America's gone.
He won't renew his contract anymore.
I think I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think the point that we've seen is they are setting up what happened in the comics. They're setting up Bucky being Captain America. So I don't think Captain America is gone per se. I think Steve is gone. I think Steve dies heroically. And if you've seen the little poster that leaked out of, or not even leaked out, they were giving away at the convention. It was 3 separate posters all kind of joined into one image. And when you look at Captain America on the poster, if you kind of zoom in on what his uniform
It's
is,
the black one.
well, no, it's the Captain America costume, right? But he's all the symbolism of America and the Avengers is all ripped off of it.
So, Jason, dead or alive?
Steve is dead.
Oh yeah, Steve's dead.
Roger, what do you think? Do you think Steve's dead?
Yeah, but he might
Really?
be back at the end of it. But yeah, he's dead.
How awesome would it be if back at the end of it he comes back, but
It's
understood that he's a Skrull.
Oh man,
By
Oh
us,
my
the
God.
that would
audience.
be it.
By us, the
Oh my
audience, right? We understand. They don't understand.
All right.
We get it.
What if at the end of it he says "Hail Hydra"?
I don't think they're gonna. That hasn't worked out too well for them in comic form. I really don't think they're gonna go there. In
No,
movie form.
I know. It was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah.
Well, so we're gonna finish this one up on our show because it doesn't take too much of nerd news.
No, we can.
You wanna do it?
We can talk about the
Iron Man.
the core group. Iron Man. I don't think Iron Man dies. I think he backs away. Right. I think he lives, but I think he can't do it anymore.
I think he takes on this mediator role.
Live or die?
Live.
Live. I'm gonna say he dies.
All right. So
Hulk.
I don't think Jeremy Renner's out. Or not Jeremy
No,
Renner. Mark
Hulk.
Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo. I think Mark Ruffalo stays in. I think Hulk will live.
Chris.
Hulk will live.
I'm on the live side. Hawkeye.
I mean,
That would be the character after Age of Ultron. If they kill him, that would be heart wrenching because of his family.
it's true. I think before we see Clint die, we will see his family die. I think introducing them to us was a bad thing. So I'm going to say Clint lives, but it's going to be bad for him.
Chris.
He'll live. He's such a pointless character that he has to.
I'm on the live side.
Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow.
She'll live. She's got to get a solo movie before they kill her.
Yeah, I think Black Widow will live. I think they're Phase 4, they'll put her in a solo film.
Nick.
Fury?
Oh, he can't go anywhere.
No, I think Fury sticks around because I think they're going to reform S.H.I.E.L.D.
Live and Sword.
They could do Sword, yeah.
Blue Sword would be fun.
I mean, that's what you set up, right? You set up the idea of Sword because this threat came from the stars, right?
And then Thor.
Thor, I think Thor lives, but I don't think he's going to be back. I think he's going to go to Asgard and rebuild. So I think he's going to be out.
I think he'll be there. He'll live.
This is the most boring bet ever because I'm going to say Thor lives too. And the only difference we have out of the core, so we're going to finish up because we've got Guardians to go through. We've got other things.
Yeah.
But right now where we stand is Iron Man is where the money is. Because Chris, both you and Chris went live, and I'm like, yeah, he did.
All right.
He's going to die holding Steve Rogers' hand.
That would actually be cool.
I think Steve
if
Rogers is going
all
to die
out.
in his arms like his vision foretold.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
I really think that's going to happen. The visions and portents in the Marvel comic universe usually end up turning out to be true.
Oh, we forgot Vision.
Vision's
Vision's-
alive.
Vision, I think, will be...
No, they could kill him to get the Infinity Stone
Well,
out of him.
we talked... I mean, I've had that conversation with a few people. I think that Vision... What Vision is doesn't necessarily have to be Vision with the Infinity Stone. It could just be Jarvis's Matrix and the body made out of vibranium, right?
But the stone is what gave it life.
The stone is what gave it power. Jarvis's AI is what gives it life.
So then
his
so then
AI
you-
animates.
So then
it.
we're just gonna have some crappy robot
Yeah.
yeah, but
that can't phase through
But
walls and shit.
let's look at the idea that Vision. I mean, Jarvis, in and of itself, before it even got into the body, was basically a sentient thing.
Yeah.
But Vision without the stone can't phase through walls. He can't make himself super heavy.
I mean, so maybe he loses the stone for a little while during the course of the movie,
And
and
gets
then
it
when
back.
they defeat Thanos, it is decided he should be its guardian.
So Jason's on live.
He's gonna live.
I'm on live.
Yeah, I mean, there's some characters you have to keep around. Characters that you've just recently introduced, they're going to be used to build the next phase of this thing.
Like
right?
Quicksilver was.
Scarlet Witch stuck around, and I think she's going to be around for a while.
Quicksilver would have been a good one to keep around. They should have killed Hawkeye.
I don't think.
With what they did with his family, they were setting us up for that.
Yes, they were.
I mean, Quicksilver definitely is. Or I'm sorry, losing my mind. Quicksilver, Hawkeye is definitely a character that has tragedy in his life, in both the Ultimate and the regular Marvel comic universe.
I just want a Hawkeye TV show. I just do. I want a Netflix Hawkeye show.
Deadpool and Hawkeye.
Oh,
Make it
man.
happen.
That can happen.
It can. They just
In
have to
any
stop
case.
being assholes.
In any case, obviously,
You know where the Avengers need to go after fighting Thanos?
That's actually, that ad doesn't get plugged here.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, shut up, Roger.
I'm good.
okay. So,
I was in the mode. I was ready. I was like, live spot time.
No, that's not the one. That's not the one.
We're good. I'm going to go back and drink my beer.
so obviously, the other characters that we know are confirmed for the film are the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then several of the other characters they've introduced us to recently, like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and Winter Soldier, and characters that haven't really had much screen time yet are going to be in this film.
So my theory on how Infinite War Part 1 ends. Everyone dies except for Doctor Strange. And you see him standing there like amongst the fallen heroes going, what the hell do I do now? And then he remembers he can control the time loop.
I mean, sure, he can reverse time with the Eye of Agamotto. I mean, we know from his movie though that has very dire consequences when used in such large scale.
We
Yes.
also know that he doesn't care.
Yes.
But he might
100%
care if
does
it
not
means,
care.
but he might care if it means opening up the universe to threats beyond its imagination.
Right now,
Thanos is already there.
I mean,
There
I
are
mean-
threats beyond Thanos. Big threats that Doctor Strange is aware of, like Dormammu.
yeah, but Dormammu's cool.
Dormammu makes Thanos look like a bitch.
Yeah, but he took care of Dormammu.
Yeah. Doctor Strange single-handedly did it.
He was like,
here's
hey.
the thing. He's going to be the one that beats Thanos. Single-handedly.
Doctor Strange.
How
He-
funny would that be?
He's just going to use the same trick. How funny would it be if he used the same trick on Thanos, but Thanos got wise and is like, mine.
What if he tricked? What if he did something to trick Thanos into thinking he was just running around with Lady Death? And Thanos is like, all right, I'll go away.
I mean, there's definitely a line in the quote unquote footage that leaked onto the internet that death follows wherever I go, I think was the line. Or
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't know if they're gonna go full on like death is a personified thing in the film,
But
that
that's
he
the whole
actually
reason.
worships.
In the comics, that's the whole reason Thanos
sure.
put his glove on and threw a tissy fit.
Yeah.
Thanos was trying to impress death, and the ultimate thing to do to impress the god of death is to kill everybody.
Unless you're Deadpool. Because he won. Deadpool won. Deadpool won.
He killed the
married
Marvel
death.
universe.
Yeah,
He married death.
That's fair.
Deadpool won, and then Thanos cursed him to live forever so that he could never be together with death.
Yeah, but it's Deadpool, so he'll figure it out.
There's the immortality. Most people forget this, but the immortality tied to Deadpool as a character comes from Thanos being jealous about death, showing more
Well,
interest in Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool
And he-
CB'd Thanos after
and-
Thanos destroyed the entire Marvel universe.
And he altered his genetic structure so that he would be immortal.
Winning.
So he would never get to be with death. Ever.
I wish they did Deadpool Illustrated as a movie.
Alright, you're on your own. What else you got?
Well, San Diego news. We also had the Justice League trailer.
It was cool.
It was cool.
It was cool.
I really liked The Flash.
I really like Aquaman using people as a surfboard.
I honestly think that Aquaman's going to be one of the coolest parts of this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
on board with Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I cannot wait to see what he does.
That man looks like such a badass. Okay, first of all, I want to give Jason Momoa a shout out because he's a cool guy. Like, just a cool guy.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I want to have drinks with you. I want to be your best friend. Let's go rock climbing and ride skateboards.
Would you be the inside or the outside spoon?
I'm not a big spooner.
But it's Jason Momoa.
Yeah, so like I'd be like, hey man, let's lay back to back.
Back to back, butt to butt. Gotcha.
I think we would all be the little spoon when it came to Jason Momoa.
Yeah, but he might,
I'm gonna go ahead and
you
put
know,
that out there right
no,
now.
that guy's a softie.
Yeah, there are really times that he's gonna roll and be like, just a little cuddle.
He'd be like, just show me that you love me. Joe Moore's gonna get so jealous when he hears this.
But so, I don't. Oh man.
Come on, Jason, do your news.
Obviously there was, a trailer that came out of Comicon, a final trailer, if you will, that's a little bit longer and has a little bit of differing dialogue from the Comicon trailer hit the internet a couple of days ago. But regardless, there's some interesting, big explosion-y Zack Snyder type of stuff going on, and Joss Whedon is doing a bunch of reshoots. So
Trying to patch it all together.
what that is,
Trying to make a movie.
What some of those scenes that we see are, might not actually be what the final scenes are, or in the movie at all.
Are you saying we're looking at a possible Rogue One experience there?
Well, that doesn't mean
Like where the entire trailer is not in the movie?
that doesn't mean that it's bad though. Rogue One was not a bad film.
Rogue One was my favorite Star Wars
Rogue
movie.
One is a great film. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but it is a great film.
It's no Empire.
It is no Empire, but it's still great, and I'm excited about the future. That's another thing, obviously
It's better than Episode 7.
they showed off some videos about Episode 8.
Did you hear? I don't want to mow your lawn here, but did you hear that?
Mow my lawn.
That
It's a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you can come over and mow my actual lawn because it needs to be mowed.
They're rewriting Episode 9 now. Like they brought in a new writer for Episode 9.
There's some changes being made to what Episode 9 will be, and there's a big obvious reason why some of that has to be changed.
Somebody died.
Yeah,
In real
Carrie
life,
Fisher is
in
not going to
RL.
be, Princess Leia anymore. She's not going to be around. So obviously, if she was involved in any way in the structure of the plot, whole chunks of it would have to be rewritten.
Yeah, but their statement for why they're actually, it seems like they're doing a ground up rewrite from what I was reading, and the statement was, we need to bring in fresh eyes. We are so attached to the universe we were trying to build and trying to finish the storyline not going our way the way we wanted it to because obvious real life events. We can't do it, so we had to bring on a fresh writer.
Sure, I mean, even if that's true, even if it's a larger rewrite than just some small chunks, the very idea of what they've let Rian Johnson do when you listen to his interviews is really take the concept that they were building and the concept they presented to him, and he got to expand upon it, and he got to tell the story the way he wanted to tell it. So when you have the same thing happened with Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi was not always the movie that we got until Empire Strikes Back, and then they kind of...
To be fair, Episode 4 wasn't the movie it was supposed to be when it was shot.
Sure, I mean, that kind of stuff happens, but I think that what they're building towards is great and fresh and some new ideas in the Star Wars universe.
Real quickly, I kind of have a gripe here.
Save this for another episode.
Right.
Go on.
So obviously we got to see some of that, and some other things happened. There was some 20th Century Fox news with them pursuing a Fantastic Four spinoff starring Doctor Doom.
He's getting a whole solo movie
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the point of that is.
to hold on to the movie rights. That's the
literally
point.
I mean, they have plenty of time before they have to make another movie to hold on to the movie rights. I think it's like 5 years. But making a Doctor Doom movie just seems like it is jumping on this kind of R-rated, superhero movie thing that's been happening recently where these kinds of things have been successful. And we hear Sony doing a Venom film. Now we have 20th Century Fox doing a Doom film. And I think they're going with that kind of more
Sony has had this Venom film in the works for years.
It's true.
Before Andrew Garfield left Spider-Man.
It's true, but they never wanted to greenlight it until we started seeing this recent trend of adult movies that are taken
They had already announced it.
They're actually
No, they
coming
haven't, actually.
close
Oh, I
to
thought
their
they
thing. It like Fan4tastic came out in 2015, so they're at like 2 years before they lose those rights.
I mean,
That's not a lot of time to get a movie.
sure,
out.
they're also talking about making an FF style film about Reed and Sue's children, Valeria and Franklin Richards.
I would love to see a good Fantastic Four movie.
I really would.
I think
Yeah,
that
give
is
it to
the-
Marvel.
No, I mean, okay, I'd be okay with the Fantastic Four being in the Marvel universe.
Dude, it would be sick to see freaking Mr. Fantastic in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I mean, having him alongside Spider-Man and Tony Stark and some of these other characters.
What if
would be
Spider-Man
great.
ends up joining the Fantastic Four
When he's
with a bag on his head?
That was Bagman. That was when they told him he couldn't join the Fantastic Four. He came and was like, "Hey, can I join?" And they were like, "No, get out of here."
How fun would that be?
like, I always felt bad for Peter Parker in those
we
moments.
could
The
picture
X-Men-
that kid. I could picture Tom Holland doing that.
I mean, I could too. The more cool route to go would do the original FF route where the team was Mr. Fantastic, Sue, Ben, and Peter.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That was the Fantastic Four team. Johnny was presumed dead at the time. He obviously wasn't. He came back and, whatever, he's still around. But
Then they could do a spin-off, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. They could
That-
bring in Firestar.
well, I haven't really set any precedent for Firestar as a
No, they
character.
can. That's Do you think I care? Do you think they care? They're like,
Clearly not.
They're like, here's a character.
Yeah.
For those of you who can't see what Chris just did, he pretty much motioned to throwing something away.
I did.
Yeah.
They did it with Quicksilver.
I actually think they're going to bring Quicksilver back, and that
As a skull.
Joss Whedon said no.
Well, Joss Whedon's working for DC now.
Yeah,
Marvel's
hopefully
Kevin Feige's
DC gets
baby at this
good
point.
movies now.
Well, but that also leads into Captain Marvel, right? They dropped some big news about Captain Marvel, that her film is going to be set in the 1990s.
Yes! This is going to have the second best soundtrack of any Marvel movie.
She's kind of my girlfriend.
Brie Larson?
Yes.
That's weird, but all right.
I mean, she doesn't really know it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's cool.
So that's more creepy stalker than girlfriend. Huh?
It's not really creepy stalker. Like, she just kind of is. Like, she'll get over it.
Okay.
It's one of those things that like they haven't met yet, but Chris knows.
Sure.
You know when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
No,
This is why we can't be on the show.
no, I've always liked Brie Larson. I watched a show with her, United States of Terror. The girl's actually a really, really great actress.
No, she's great. I'm excited to see her play Carol.
She's fun. She's spunky. I think she's gonna make an awesome Carol.
Yeah, I definitely think they're moving in the right direction. But they did drop some interesting, knowledge about the film, and obviously set in the 1990s. We went over, but it's going to have Marvel in it, and if you're unfamiliar, Marvel is the original Captain Marvel. He's a Kree, or he's part Kree. I don't remember. He's got some kind of Kree thing going on. In any case, the Miss Marvel...
Our expert, everybody.
Yeah. He's got some kind of Kree thing going on. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember exactly his whole deal. I like Carol better than I ever liked Marvel. But no, so... Is that not
He's long dead.
Marvel?
Hold on. Can we talk about
Yes.
the best thing I saw come out of San Diego Comic-Con?
Sure. What's
I'm
up?
sorry.
No,
Because we're talking Captain Marvel and how fun it is to talk about that, but the new Thor Ragnarok trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We were going to talk about that. I mean,
Thanks for interrupting.
I had that on my list here. I got to get to it.
I don't see your list.
Well, I have it on,
it's blacked out right
fine.
now, but it's on that cellular device.
It's on that list, though, of things I need to talk about.
So, Roger, you just sit there and you let him do the news.
So, but anyway, like I said, big things. Marvel, the Miss Marvel costume, which, if you're unfamiliar, was Carol's original persona.
That's the black costume with the M on it.
with the gold
It's a
lightning
lightning
bolt.
bolt.
Yeah.
Shaped like an M for Marvel. Yeah.
No, it's not shaped like an M.
It's just a lightning bolt.
It just kind of comes shoulder,
And it's like
torso.
it's
down
kind
the
of like
stomach.
a swimsuit.
What am I
with-
thinking of?
It is
with
basically
gloves?
like a swimsuit
and
with
high
gloves.
boots
Yeah,
and a
I imagine
belt.
they'll find a more tasteful way to do it in a film.
That's perfectly tasteful.
No,
And then they'll put her in that.
I'm excited about where he's you can't see because we're talking to you, but he's referring to a picture on a towel hanging on the door
Or
of
she looks like a Nova Defender.
You make it
Captain Marvel.
sound so trashy.
Like,
There's
well,
a
here's the thing.
towel on his door.
there's
Here's
a
the
towel
thing.
hanging on the door because I assume there's some kind of hole in the door underneath it there.
No, there's not.
But
Oh,
here's the
okay.
thing.
It's primitive soundproofing.
Primitive.
Here's the thing. Like after you talked about listeners about your love crush of Brie Larson, they picture this towel now, this creepy like dollar store towel that you got in Loot Crate.
Don't worry
And
about the
with a
spots
picture
on it.
with a picture of Brie Larson stapled to it.
Well, okay.
Just cut out a
You
picture
didn't
of
have
her
to
face
tell him
out
that
of a magazine.
you didn't have to tell him that the picture was stapled to it.
I went Deadpool there. Sorry.
No, Brie, I just like the girl. Like
Yeah.
she's cool.
Yeah, so presumably what the point of having Marvel in there is we'll see kind of the mantle get passed to her. It also explains that her movie's probably going to be more of a space movie, with the announcement that the bad guys are going to be the Skrulls. That's kind of a big thing. If you're unfamiliar with the Skrulls, they're a shape-shifting race of aliens that in the comics usually was locked in conflict with just about anybody, mostly the Kree. So there's we've already got the Kree thing in there as well through Guardians of the Galaxy. So they're setting up I think kind of on the sly in the background. They're setting up what could become Secret Invasion, which was a comic event from a while back where it was understood that systematically throughout years and years of planning on the Skrulls' part, they were replacing key figures and heroes on Earth.
Captain America was replaced.
Yeah, they are shape-shifting aliens that can not only take on the likeness but the memory patterns of the people. The impersonation becomes perfect. It is indistinguishable. So it seems like setting her movie in the past, having her out in space, explaining why she hasn't been on Earth for anything that's been going on. I think these are all really good things that are leading to a post Thanos story secret invasion.
You know what's funny though is Brie Larson would have been like a kid in the 90s.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean,
Chris, it's called acting.
It's movie magic.
I don't
Chris.
like this magic.
It's movie magic.
It's called acting.
And they're like, she's not going to age at all between now and the future.
Well, that's because they'll probably go with the Kree thing. She ended up becoming part Kree. That was the binary days. They'll probably skip the binary thing, and she'll go from Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel.
Okay, fair enough.
In her film, but point being, they're definitely setting up something cool, for the future of the universe. And also, there was a new Thor trailer. I know Roger was.
I was so excited
to talk about the new Thor trailer.
It's like a buddy.
So let's talk
it's
about
a
it
buddy
now.
road trip movie with Thor and Hulk like fire and Thor like water.
Thor likes fire.
Yeah, weak, puny fire.
Yeah, Hulk is like
raging fire. It's
Hulk
the
is
only
like,
thing I
you're
like.
a bitch, Thor.
Yeah, the best part of that trailer, honestly, was when Thor was like, "Oh yeah, we fought," and he's like, "Oh, did I win?" And Thor's like,
No, of course not.
Of course not.
That doesn't sound right. Well, it's true.
And you see the Hulk just throw Thor across the arena.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this movie's gonna be so awesome.
It is going to be the best Thor movie ever.
It definitely seems like it's going to leave its mark in a way that the other Thor movies have failed to.
I have not seen
the other Thor movies are actually cool flicks.
No, I like the other Thor movies. There's not a Marvel movie that I dislike.
Well, I was ticked. So, like, the first Thor movie back in 2011,
Avengers 2: Age of Ultron.
I liked Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron's not a bad film.
It's really
But the first Thor movie, like, back in 2011, got so much hate, and, like, it was a cool freaking flick.
I thought it was fine. Yeah.
It was done
character.
well.
Yeah.
It was my one complaint is I wanted something more medieval, less spacey.
Yeah, but that's what Asgard is. Asgard is another dimension.
And that's why I was okay with it. That's why I was okay with
in
it.
In the comics, there's another dimension. In the movie universe, it's just a planet out there in space, and they have advanced tech and space travel and stuff.
Yeah, but it's that's a cool flick. Dark World, that was a cool flick too.
I didn't like their treatment of Malekith as a character.
Malekith
I like
was done
Malekith a
poorly.
lot.
He was done poorly.
And yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't what I expected. When I heard they were going to use
that's
Malekith as
fair.
the villain, I expected that to be a movie that would take place more in space, not on Earth. But this one definitely seems like it's going to take most of its time in space.
I'm excited. I like this movie.
It looks awesome.
Hands down. It's like, hey, let's try to do a Guardians of the Galaxy fun movie with Thor and the Hulk and just see what happens.
Well, they figured out that Chris Hemsworth is funny.
Chris Hemsworth is funny. He's a very funny guy.
Yeah, I saw the new Ghostbusters movie. He was the best part of it.
So, okay, you have him being the best part of
we're not gonna talk
Ghostbusters.
about that.
But then also, like, the scenes that he did with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of deleted scenes of that, and they're hysterical.
Well, there's also, they did the little Where Was Thor during Civil War?
Oh
Chet.
my gosh, I
With
know.
Chet.
The roommate? Yeah.
Yes.
And if you've not watched those
They're
videos, just look them up.
hysterical.
Thor during Civil War. There's 2 videos, or probably someone had combined them into one single video.
He keeps trying to reach out to them.
But yeah, it's about him moving to Australia and moving in with a roommate, and just hilarity ensues with this normal guy and the Thunder God.
It's awesome.
It's really funny. And I think that's, I think there's been humor in the Thor movies. I think when you see Thor on screen in his own films or even in the films he's cameoed in, he's always kind of funny. He's always the jovial guy because he's supposed to be the big Viking guy who just likes revels and battle and that kind of stuff. So that comes across as funny to people who don't look at life that way.
But that's how I look at life.
This definitely is going to be more akin to Guardians of the Galaxy than it is to any of the other Thor movies.
Which is I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I really am, because Guardians of the Galaxy to me represents the best of comic book movies. It was a movie that didn't take itself too seriously. They saved the day at the end of the day. You laughed, you cried, Groot died. It was
a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got, obviously Kate Blanchett, who I'm sure is going to deliver one hell of a performance as Hela,
She looks sick, dude.
The goddess of death. We've got Carl Urban in there, who's playing Scourge, I think is the character's name. He looks just like Scourge.
Jeff Goldblum
as the Grand Master, who in the comics is the brother of the Collector, who we've seen Antonio Banderas playing.
Antonio Banderas and Dark and Howard the Duck.
Yeah, so we've got all kinds of the Guardians concepts are obviously really relevant when you do like a space type story.
What else you got?
There's not really much else from Comicon that really just stood out. There's definitely been a couple of things subsequently in the subsequent week or so since we've talked last. If you haven't seen it, go out and see get on the internet, find you a picture of Donald Glover dressed as Lando Calrissian.
Oh yes,
for the upcoming Han Solo
Calrissian.
film. It
It's
is
so
just
right.
great, and the likeness. He's got the little mustache, and it's perfect.
You know, Donald Glover has a great in right now.
Oh, Donald Glover! I thought Donald Glover has always been great.
He's always been great, but
he's finally getting noticed.
He's in Disney so hard right now. Yeah. Spider-Man: Homecoming. They're like, oh yeah, because he petitioned to play Spider-Man back when Andrew Garfield was.
He was the voice of Miles Morales on the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon show.
Correct, but he was. There was also petitions to have him play fucking language. To have him play Miles Morales. They wanted him instead of Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely they used him in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and that's a little bit of a spoiler if you've not seen Spider-Man: Homecoming. But
I mean, it's been a month.
You've had plenty of time to see Spider-Man: Homecoming. But in the film, he actually plays the Prowler, who's in the Ultimate Universe the uncle of Miles Morales. He makes mention of the idea that he's got a little nephew out there, and he's worried about him.
So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting more notice lately, and I think it's great. And they've cast him as young Lando Calrissian in this young Han Solo film that they're about to make.
Directed by Ron Howard.
Directed by Ron Howard. It wasn't supposed to be directed by Ron Howard.
It wasn't supposed to be directed,
but it is now.
Guess what? They have an A-list director.
And what do you want to bet? He finds a nice little alien for his brother Clint to play.
Yeah, oh, duh.
Duh. I'm going to put money on that. We've been betting. We talked about betting. I'm putting money on that. Clint Howard is going to be an alien in the Han Solo movie.
Clint Howard's going to be an alien. If Tom Hanks doesn't show up, it's a travesty.
I don't think you're going to get Tom Hanks.
You might. Just as a kid. Tom Hanks isn't everything Ron Howard does.
Yeah, but Tom Hanks is not a sci-fi guy typically.
No, but Tom Hanks is that type of guy that'd be like, yes, that would be funny. Like, just have him, like, in the back of a bar, like, drinking a beer.
You mean as a cameo?
Yeah, as a cameo. Not as like, main character. Like, but you see him in the bar, and, like, he knows that he's Tom Hanks sitting in a Star Wars movie, and him just, like, raising his drink to some guy behind the camera so it looks like he's raising it to the camera.
Yeah.
I can see that happening in Ron Howard, Tom Hanks thing.
I mean, that would be interesting. I'm not putting my money on that, but I am putting my money on Clint Howard being in the movie because there's no way he's not a Star Wars alien in the movie.
So this little notepad has become our Vegas gambling.
Okay. Okay.
Jason O'Toole's down for Clint Howard.
Clint Howard, alien in Star Wars as a cameo, is just an alien guy because Ron Howard's directing it. I think that is gonna happen.
You want to take that bet up, Chris?
Yep.
Chris, are you so you're saying that won't happen?
Clint Howard be in the movie as an alien?
Oh no, he's gonna be there.
Oh, he'll be there.
I will take that bet. I'll take the bet that he won't be there.
You're crazy. Clint Howard's in every Ron Howard movie, and you know Clint Howard is absolutely the type of guy who's when he's heard that Ron Howard's directing Star Wars, he was calling him up that minute. Like, I want to be in Star Wars, bro. Please, please, bro.
He's like, just do it.
You didn't let me get into that Andy Griffith show, so you owe me.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
that's what I bring to Nerd News.
That's pretty much all I had to cover. There's obviously more stuff going on. There's some comic things coming up. I think we might take the next episode and just talk about what's going on in a few of the comics that are pretty big and popular right now. I definitely am excited about Dark Knight's Metal. Hopefully by the next time I talk, I'll have some more information on that for you guys. But yeah, I want to thank Chris and Roger for hanging out and
thank you for having us, man.
And bringing their particular style to the
bringing your obscenity to my show.
Shut up, Roger.
Oh no, you're not Meg. You're not as bad as Meg. No. No, that's.
Can you believe that we used to host this show?
Yeah, I'll put it like this: like Jason's. This is the first time I've said it on Jason's Nerd News, and like the level
way more informative.
The level of professionalism he tries to bring to this, and we just totally screwed the pooch because we're like, hey, it's Chris and Roger, and we're drinking beers, having a good time.
And you know what's funny is people that have been listening to this for a while, they hear it and they're like, oh god,
they're back.
They're gonna screw up the news.
I'm always happy to have people to talk to. In the future, I'd like to do some specific episodes and bring some guests on the show anyway.
Well, I'd like to point out that Jason and Chris and I have made the decision. we're going to binge watch The Defenders. So either on Nerd News or an ETG episode, we will be giving our nerd review of The
Crossover.
Defenders.
Yeah.
We'll do the first ever ETG Nerd News crossover.
Is that not what we're doing right now?
No,
We're
we're just guests. We have no responsibility on this.
Thanks for coming to my house and recording your show. Take it away, Jason.
No, that's I'm happy again to have you guys sit in, and I'm always happy to hear other opinions that are not my own, because I feel like I tend to ramble on about what I talk about sometimes. But that'll bring us to the end here. We'll have some more stuff for you next week. We'll do some comic stuff, and we'll do some video game stuff, because there's some interesting news on that front coming here soon. So until then, stay geeky out there, guys.